Okay, great. We're back here at the Fast Markets Conference in Vegas. The man himself, Iggy Tan, good to chat to you yesterday. It will be nice to give some feedback to followers and listeners. Can you just recap for us the DFS that you completed earlier this year, some of the metrics and your thoughts around getting that supplied?
Okay, great. Yeah, nice to see you again. We completed the DFS in February this year. Excellent economics. We purposely use quite low forecast prices for spodumene and lithium carbonate. The NPV for the project's close to 700 million US. It generates around an EBITDA of 148 million per annum. So very exciting news. We are now moving forward to securing the spodumene supply for the refinery. So as you know, the refinery is based in Bécancour in Quebec. One of the important things is, questions is, can we compete with China in conversion? The answer is well and truly yes. We have access to cheap hydropower. We're very close to the resources in Canada. So for example, if you're a spodumene producer today in Canada and you have to ship all that spodumene to China and back as a lithium carbonate product, it'll add you $1,300 a ton of lithium carbonate. So that's significant. So with cheap power and also Canada has tariffs on lithium chemicals coming from China, 25%. You add all that up, we're actually cheaper in conversion compared to China. So if you're going to build a refinery somewhere in the world, well, if you build it in Asia, you're going to compete with China. North America means it is quite remote and you can actually build. We believe there's a vision for a conversion center in Quebec for the North Atlantic region. And
Iggy, just a bit more color on your thoughts around what sort of offtake or spodumene that you need and supply to be comfortable that you've got a decent time horizon?
Yeah, so we have discussions with producers as well as non-producers or potential producers for spodumene feeding the refinery. So we would require a feedstock starting 2028, and we're looking for a 10-year supply at least, and then rolling 5 years. So 140,000 tons of spodumene per annum. So discussions are ongoing. And meanwhile, we're also having discussions of potential offtake for the battery-grade lithium carbonate. So as you know, we're making a very high-grade lithium carbonate. It's going to feed into the LFP batteries. And so there are a lot of interests for that offtake as well.
And it would then make sense then to be looking at potential suppliers within reasonable proximity to where you.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Canada is we're right on the Bécancour, the river there. So most of spodumene coming out of Quebec will go past it. So
yeah, I've done a visit to Bécancour, so I know it's a very organized industrial center. So yeah, it's a great spot.
Yeah.
And then some more exciting news, which I think looks good, but obviously you'd need to prove out the concept, is the latest project. So give everyone an idea what you've just executed.
Yeah, so we feel that we've done everything for the lithium project, and our strategy was always a counter-cyclical strategy. Get ready for when the market recovers. Our view is that when it recovers, it'll recover very strongly. And so we're in a good position there, but the opportunity came up where we could acquire a solar PV recycling technology. So the technology is owned by Macquarie University. It's called microwave joule heating technology. So essentially the problem is that today 15% of PV cells in the world is recycled. The rest ends up in landfill. And in Australia, 37% of roof space in Australia has solar panels. So Australia actually generates close to 16, 17% of electricity from household solar panels. And the problem is, in 20 years' time, they're all going to end up in landfill because only 15% actually get recycled. They estimated that 87 million tons of discarded solar panels will be end up in landfill. So the technology today is essentially to recycle it. They shred the solar panels, they grind it up, and they use high temperature, 1,400 degrees Celsius, to extract the EVA. It's like the resin that holds the silicon wafer together. And then they use very toxic chemicals like hydrofluoric acid and sulfuric acid to remove that EVA from the other materials. And then in that process, a lot of the valuable materials like silver, indium and gallium ends up in that acid solution, and it actually goes to landfill. So the process is not very efficient. Macquarie developed a technology where they use microwaves, just exactly the same microwave oven that you have in your kitchen. And by putting that solar panel in microwave heating, it actually heats up specifically just the silicon wafer and starts to delaminate from the EVA very efficiently. And so essentially you just extract the silicon wafer from that without destroying it and so on. So we're interested in extracting.
So just to be clear, then you can extract those minerals out of there as opposed to it going into the...
Yeah, as opposed to being grinding up. And so you don't need high temperature and you don't need any toxic chemicals like acids and so on. So the challenge now is to take that silicon wafer, and what's the valuable minerals in that, critical metals? Silver. And you're very familiar with silver, indium and gallium. You maybe want to comment about the demand for silver.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's, at around $36 an ounce and only growing. So, and I think there's just under an ounce, I think it's about 20 grams in each cell.
Yeah.
In each, panel. So
there's quite a famous quote from the Energy Commission that says the amount of silver in solar panels in landfill today accumulates to the largest silver mine in Australia. And so that's the attraction for us. And of course, there's also indium, gallium, and all those valuable metals.
So just to be clear, do they have a patent on that?
Yeah, they got a couple of patents pending on that heating technology.
Right.
And we're keen to work with them because, our team has a lot of chemical experience and chemical extraction experience to develop a commercial process. So very exciting.
So if you've done a deal with them, will that technology and those patents then be yours?
Exactly. So
you could then do other arrangements with other parties around the world to do the same technology.
Yes, technically, but our vision is to develop the technology and commercialize it. So, but the big message here is we're not going away from lithium. We are lithium. We have a bullish outlook on lithium, but while we wait for the market to recover, this is another exciting opportunity.
Yeah, no, it sounds good because what's going on right now doesn't sound like very clean energy to me with how they're getting disposed of or dealt with now. So it's interesting. Okay.
And then what it allowed us, this acquisition allowed us to raise money. We raised $1.7 million and the market was very excited about it. So
that's great. And any other sort of big milestones coming up in the next while?
I think as we work through the offtake and also all the development news flow from this new technology.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Iggy. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.